Oh, gosh. Ow. Ow. Stop chat. We want live chat. How does it look? Oh, everything's whited out. Gotta fix the lighting. Hang on. Gotta fix the lighting here. Maybe that'll be better. Yeah, it's better. I'm not quite so whited out. Oh, hello, my lovelies. If you're watching this on the replay, yes, I did start 7 minutes late. Now, I don't know what I did with my phone. It's in the house. I know it's in the house. But for the last 45 minutes, I've been followed around the house, and not just by four-legged furry kittens. Brother wanted to talk a lot and literally followed me upstairs, downstairs, back upstairs. So I've lost my phone. So I'm going to try to do this on the laptop, which always makes me nervous because I think it looks grainy from what I'm seeing now. But the playback always seems to be okay. Yeah, my hair is wet because at no point could I get a shower when somebody kept following me around the house. So honestly, I love my brother, but sometimes it's like having a puppy. Follow you everywhere. So I thought I'd catch up with everybody and do a haul of the little bit of stuff that I got while I was at summer camp, because we did take a day where I went off with Mike and we went into the nearest town, and there was one lone antique thrift shop. Kind of was like those ones, it's like an antique mall where there were different vendors. So I found a few little things. I'm hanging in there, Nora. I did stress fracture my foot at summer camp, probably, when I kind of almost fell out and I see a cat coming up behind me. Hello, Gimli. I could tell because he's got a red collar on. Yes. You want something? Of course you want something. Come here. This is Gimli. Gimli's one of the ones that's staying. None of the three that need to be adopted have been adopted yet. So I still have all 5 kittens. Look how big they've gotten though. He's the biggest by far. He's our chunky monkey. He weighs at least a pound more than the others, and he's going to be a big boy. Where are you going? You're looking for your cubby hole, but I think I put something in your cubby hole. But anyway, so they got me off the scout reservation we got out at least for one day. And hey, no! Hey, get out of there. Come on. I'll pick you up by the scruff of the neck then. How many times do I have to tell you guys no to the light box? Light boxes are too expensive to have you monsters mess it up. Oh, that messes up the lighting. There we go. Honestly. Him and the one that looks like a Siamese cat. So Gimli and Elrond just are fascinated with trying to sleep and lay in and play in that light box. And, you know, they only have these tiny little LED lights around the top. Yeah, actually a little terror instead of a cutie. He's not the worst one, though. The worst one is Aragorn, because he likes to just flop down in front of your feet as you're walking. That's not a good thing. That's not a safe thing. And it's a hard thing, especially since I'm walking with my foot in a funny little shoe, because I've stress fractured the toes. So the first night at camp, I think that's when I did it first, because the air mattress flattened out so much that I couldn't get out of the cot. My feet are a good 6 inches off the ground in one of those old army cots, because, you know, like the wooden piece is here, but the cot is down here, the canvas part. So your butt is like below the level of the edge of the thing. and my legs are really short. All my height's torso, what I've got. And I couldn't get out. And I had to twist. I was so worried about like twisting my spine the wrong way that I practically fell out. And then when I did, like all my weight went on the right foot and I pitched forward, which then forced the foot like that. And I know I heard a snap and I know I felt some pain, but I didn't, it was my day to be the adult in camp all day. So I sat and read all day. So it rested right away. So I didn't think too much of it. I mean, it was a little sore, but there's a lot of walking at camp. But then I got home with Kittens who decided that as soon as the water's turned off in the shower, then they just invade the bathroom. And in trying to get out, and I didn't realize they were in there, and I almost stepped on Aragorn again. And I went sideways, and my foot slammed the top of my foot into the radiator. And if there was a little bit of a crack, there was definitely a bigger one after that. Because these are cast iron radiators in this house. So yeah. You know what's wrong with this? This is not the air mattress I had last year. This is one that Mike got for me, but it's a Coleman. And you know what's happening is the plug keeps popping out. There's nothing to stop it. The plug is made of a hard plastic. The tube it goes into is made of a hard plastic. And they're nice and smooth, both the inside and the plug itself. So if you put any kind of pressure on it, and let's face it, I'm not Tinkerbell, so then the thing will pop, and then I'll wake up and it'll have gone. But you know what happens? It goes where the heaviest point is, which would be my butt, because I have a ranch spread you could raise cattle on, and so I wake up and it'll be flat to the cot or in the middle, but my head is up and my feet are up. So I wake up feeling like I'm sleeping in a hammock until I tried to get up, because, it was like this. It just, we ended up fixing it kind of with duct tape and like, it would make it from like midnight to 6 a.m. I didn't care. That's all I needed. Midnight to 6 a.m. Here comes, which one is this? Oh, here's the little terror. This is Aragorn. Yes. Say hello. Say hello. You and Gimli, you keep teaching them bad habits, because now Gimli likes to lay down in front of me when I'm trying to come down the stairs. Y'all teach bad habits. Yes, I'm putting you down. No, don't put in that box. There's clothing in that box. I hear somebody else. Come here. Where are you going? They're all coming this way because they can't get through this way because I have the box there of what I'm going to show you. Come here. Now, this is the one who's staying. This is Elrond. Oh, he's immediately purring. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, you guys really haven't seen me live for at least 2 weeks. I didn't want to miss it tonight, but I don't know what I did with my phone. Because it's very distracting when you have another adult that just follows you around the house like they're a little kid and they're telling you stuff they saw on the news. And yes, I already know Liz Cheney lost Wyoming. All right. I need this box, so you go to your tower. You were supposed to go into that basket, They're having a fit because I have this box. So, you know what's weird too is like with StreamYard, you can see how many people are viewing you at any one time. You can see how many thumbs up and all that. And I can't do any of that doing this directly through YouTube. Huh. Oh, well. What are you doing? No, leave that. It's an apron string. Leave it alone. Having these 5 is like having 5 furry toddlers. Hello, Tia Fane. But yeah, having Gary around's like having a bigger toddler some days. So we did stop at a Goodwill on the way home. So I'll show you that stuff first. Oh, and I'll tell you the other news. The bad news is I still have all 5 kittens. So now we're up to 4 adoptions that have fallen through, which is driving me bonkers. Elron, what are you trying to do? This is like this all day. Wherever I am, they follow me. If I go to the kitchen and get a cup of tea, they will follow me. If they are not sound asleep, they follow me. Oh, no. I saw that. You know what he's after? Packing peanuts. He will shred things to get to packing peanuts. We're putting that up there where I can keep an eye on it. I don't know what it is about that. Now, this is not going to fit me. This wouldn't have fit me even back in the day. But it is a TARDIS dress. Now, whoever it was for, I mean, I can't see any signs that it was worn other than the fact that they shortened the straps right here. So if I take this stitching out right here, then it's back to the right size. And then they also put in, whoever did it really knew what they were doing. They put darts in both sides, but the darts are right next to this trim line. So whoever did it was like my mom, man. They were a pro and knew what they were doing. But I'm going to put this up on eBay. But it's a TARDIS dress. I love the material. Can you see the pattern of all the gears on the material? So, but it's in perfect shape other than what the alterations they did. So it was one of those things where we were there and it was a Wednesday. So everything with whatever everything with orange was half price. So how can I say no to a TARDIS dress when it's half price? I don't care that I won't fit in it. It's in perfect shape. I can fix the alterations and I can put it up on eBay. I have some like doll furniture and I picked this up because it ended up costing me 50 cents. But this is more Barbie size. But it's like the old Morris chairs in that you adjust the back for the height. But I thought that was kind of cool, a beach chair for Barbie. With the holidays coming, I really want to get some of this unusual stuff. Like I have a bench that's it's a weird size. Like I think it's too big for Barbie, but I'm not quite sure it's big enough for American Girl dolls. And it's made like an old school park bench in that it has what's supposed to be black cast iron sides and then wooden slats going across. And my mom had it for posing, to make a little display of when she was making doll clothes and stuff. So, I mean, she's not here to make the doll clothes anymore, and I don't know how. And no, you guys. You guys are gonna tilt and look at the ceiling. Yeah. Oh, it's you, Elron. You think you're that's the Wi-Fi. Don't knock the Wi-Fi over. Don't get down. Get down. Hey, you down now. Down. Down. Good boy. Good boy. See, at least I got one or two of them that understand down and they understand that tone of voice that when they know they're in deep doo doo. So he's been, all I could see was the curtain moving. So he's wrestling with somebody else. I know who it's not. I know it's not Gimli because he just zoomed his way out in the hallway. But they're hitting the cord, and it was, I could see the router just sliding further and further and further towards the back of the chest of drawers that it's sitting on top of. And I thought, oh, here we go. Here we go. Emily just took away the box that I need to put the stuff back in. See, it's like it's chaos. It's chaos with 5 little furry toddlers. I just the reason that I've had 3 of the adoptions well, have fallen through because the spouse said no. And then the neighbor's daughter, I never kept getting an answer from him, and then he kept saying, oh, well, it's junior prom, and then it's this and it's that. And finally I said, look, I need to know. Okay, I really need to know, because okay, that's the other of that. Because, if not, then I've got other people who want to see pictures. So they finally decided no. So that one fell through. And that was the 4th one. There was a 5th one, but there were complications there. Unfortunately, that family, she had to put her mom into hospice care. So we're going to wait and see what happens with her mom passed away just last Friday or Saturday. So we're going to wait and see what happens there, because if anybody goes to them, it's going to be Aragorn, because they have a dog who's a big dog, a big breed, and it's only 1-year-old. If any of them could hold their own with a 1-year-old puppy of, I think, a Labrador Retriever, it's going to be him. Frodo and Arwen are the calmest but most timid cats I've ever seen. They are not going to handle a big puppy. Aragorn likes to push the envelope with the doctor. He's gotten his head smacked numerous times by her. Does he care? No. He still just pushes that envelope. Still. Oh, here we go. Come here. This is Frodo. Look how big he's gotten. This is the one who I got first, and who was the little bottle-fed baby. Yes, you were. You were our little bottle baby for the first 16 hours I had you. Yes. Because then your mom showed up with 2 other kittens, and then came into the house and stayed for a little bit. And we didn't know there were 2 more kittens, so she literally tore a screen apart off of the porch door that leads out from the playroom onto a porch. So she literally tore the metal, it's old door, so it's metal screening, and she ripped it. And because there were 2 more kittens. Yeah. Yeah, well, look at that. See, he just calms right down once the scratches on the head. But he was so tiny. And in the first picture, I'm pretty sure I put the picture in one of the early videos. If not, I know it's on my Instagram, of all 5 of them. And you see 2 black ones, 2 gray ones, and then the cream one. And you can tell, you just see this skinny little black line in the middle of them. And that's this guy. And look at that. He's all content. He'll just sit here and let me scratch his head. I mean, that's why there's chaos behind me, because as my son has tried to help pack stuff, he didn't know what to do with it. So the rolls of bubble wrap are in here. Stuff is just everywhere in here. But we're getting there. I have permission as of today from the foot doctor that I can go back to wearing sneakers tomorrow morning. Well, I cheated because I have sneakers on tonight. But I did have to throw out my oldest pair of sneakers because I they weren't wearing correctly. They were starting to like wear too far on the edge. So but look at this. I mean, he's just a cuddle bug. Him and Arwen. This is why I can't in all good conscience send them anywhere where there's a dog puppy that's that big of a puppy. If it were a smaller breed, maybe, but don't take the power. Don't take the power out. All right, Frodo. Don't oh, bugger all. You hit something. All right. I think I'm still live. So that means they didn't take the plug out of the wall. I think they turned the power strip off. All right, you little monster. This is fun. I have to do this by feel. All right. Let's move the box. What did you fools do this time? Get away from that. Whose nose am I feeling? Oh dear. How did you do that? Okay. Well, now I have a problem. These little lunatics unplugged the power strip from the wall. The power strip that controls the light. It controls. Luckily, it doesn't control the Wi-Fi. I can't get to that, especially in the dark, because it's behind. I just can't risk it with my foot. I'm afraid to try because the plug thought it would be safe because it's behind my dad's old side mic, which is pushed against the wall, and somehow they've still managed to unplug one of the plugs. You see what I'm dealing with? Do you see what I'm dealing with? No wonder I don't drink more. I can't think of the last time I had a drink. I look like a ghost too, don't I? All right. Uh, All the flashlights are still packed with the Boy Scouts because apparently we're going away again on Monday. I don't know where. I don't know. I just know it's an exploring day. Mike's taking me away for 2 days. Let's see if I can do this. We'll give it one shot. All right, where are you? I do not want to step on it. Okay. I'm glad there's at least a little light from the hallway. All right, you suckers. You know, everybody's gonna go nuts on the replay going, what on earth happened? Without my phone, I don't have flashlight. You little monsters. Let's see. Can I get to it? Ugh. Ugh. Ow. Hi, Aragorn. You wee little troublemakers. Honest to goodness. Well, that was interesting. And how many of you that saw the video about the ceiling falling down upstairs on that little section? And I said, you know, my life is never boring. And you thought I was joking? I'm not joking. Crazy crap like this happens all the time. To the point where a really good friend of ours, of my mom and I, from doing community theater, a guy named Bob Bevins, used to tell the two of us that said, leave it to your family. You are the guys you are the family that puts fun in dysfunctional. I couldn't argue the point. I think he was right. So I haven't researched any of this, so I'll show you the haul. Like I said, the first batch is the Goodwill stuff, which we found on the way home. How do we do this? There we go. Isn't that beautiful for fall? Now, I picked up both. I picked up 2 of them. I would have picked up 3, but I realized the saucer had a bad crack on the 3rd one. It is bone china made in England by somebody called Royal Vale. But isn't that just gorgeous for fall? So I'm probably keeping one, and then the other one will end up being in a live sale. I don't know what's going on with this surprise trip, this overnight. But Mike has been trying to get measurements of the front room. It's supposed to become the office. So I think we're going to figure out while we're away exactly what that comes out to being, so we can figure out a layout. I already know the layout. He swears he's got to be, details. Trust me, I've done set design for a number of years. The only thing I don't know if it's going to work is having a little corner where I could put a card table to do shipping right in the room for small stuff. So we'll see. Now, I don't know how many of these Kellogg's put out. And these aren't particularly old, but they have vintage images on them. So I bought the 3 that I found. Because you guys know, I've got plenty of stuff. But the quirky stuff like these, or like I'm always looking for that unusual thing, or the things I know you're looking for, like vintage glass, loose light candles, vintage Christmas. So I always check. But these were put out in 2013 by Kellogg's, and they all say Kellogg's down inside. I mean, it's a big hunkin' mug, and it's got the same image on each side. Now, this one is for cornflakes, and what they are is they are old illustrations of what the boxes used to look like. These were the ones that were by Norman Rockwell. So I have him. I have the cornflakes little girl. And then I have this little girl with the green gingham. So, as I said, I haven't researched anything. And with everything, it was great finding stuff that was half price. Get out of the box. Kitten in the box. So they'll be coming up at another. Next week will be a live sale next Thursday night. And I will hopefully have the lighting situation fixed, because these guys knocked over my vintage floor lamp. I don't know what they did, but the wiring's wonky. The base, the glass part of the base has shifted. I swear they're teething. Stop it. Stop eating my boxes. I didn't know kittens teethed, but apparently they do. And they're starting to teethe. So I need. Oh! Harry. Come on, you. Stop playing with cords. You're going to get yourself an electric shock one of these days. Aragorn. You know, when I did these, when I first had them, I would lock them back in the playroom. I think I'm going to go back to doing that. They're going to be locked back in the playroom. Now, how much we got overbright again? There we go. I'm okay. I was afraid the bulb would break. Then there'd be shards of glass everywhere because, you know, if the bulb cracks while it's on, that thing basically just goes pop and little pieces could fly everywhere. But I think it's just him being stupid. You guys are going to make me regret the fact that I'm in sneakers, aren't you? So I'm okay. Yeah, don't keep the toaster near the bathtub. Aragorn just has this thing. He likes to play with cords. And I've managed to break Arwen, Frodo, and Elrond of that habit. Gimli still sometimes does it. But Aragorn just is fascinated. And one of these times he's going to bite into something and actually make contact and get himself zapped. Because cords are not something that critters should be playing with. But I didn't know cats teethed. And I saw a TikTok, and she does cat rescue. She's got an adorable little one. She's got Ivy and Fern. She's got Squirtle and Weedle. I think Bay is one of her own cats. But she's got this greatest voice for voiceover stuff. And well, this is why they have collars with bells on. So Frodo and Gimli are over on their tower. Aragorn is now climbing Mount Vesuvius over here. But I still hear somebody behind all this. So that has to be Elrond because this collar belongs on Arwen. And I haven't caught her yet to. She goes to bed. She's like, she is such a sweetie, but you know, it gets to 11:30. She's done with these guys and she goes to sleep. So I haven't seen her to put her collar back on her. So she is probably in the kitchen where she usually curls up in the top of the doctor's tower and goes to sleep. So what do you want? Aragorn? Get away from the router. I'm telling you, next Thursday, I'm locking them back in the playroom. We're not having this during a sale. Forget it. Just forget it. Next Thursday, they're going to be locked away. Aragorn? What are you doing to make a statue that heavy move? He just fell off. I have one of those garden statues. It's a fairy statue on the windowsill. Now, that windowsill is 12 inches deep. Ooh. I felt those claws, you little shit. You decide that you better come see Mom before she gets mad at you some more? Because honestly, that garden statue's heavy. Why was I hearing its base rock back and forth? Where do you think you're going? I know where to go. Well, there you go. Go that way. There's a path that way. There's a path that way, takes you to the other end. Oh, he's just gonna lay there. Okay. Want him, proud American? Want him? That's why I said he's the one that if Jillian still wants a kitten when everything settles down, since it's only been a week since her mom passed away, then that he's the one. He's the one that could hold his own with a golden retriever 1-year-old dog. The others, Gimli probably could, but Gimli's staying because Gimli's Michael's babe and Elrond's mine. But Arwen and Frodo are so sweet and so quiet and never usually any trouble. These other three, especially him. Oh my goodness. So I have a mug here. I've heard of mud pie and I couldn't remember why, but I think it's because they're made in China, but I think it's something about the designs. So they always have a design, and I don't know if you can see it. There we go. It has these little lines inside, but this is one of their saying ones, and there's no way, like, it'll be backwards to you. So it's white, and it's not perfectly smooth. Like, you could kind of see in the shadows, you could see there's like a rippled effect to make it look like it was all hand done. And it says, at my age, getting lucky means finding my car in the parking lot. I didn't tell my son what it said because I know he'd tell me, you should keep that. Because I'm notorious for not remembering where the car is parked. But if I'm not the driver, I don't think I should have to remember where the car is parked. It's one of the reasons why I always wanted a car and then paint it bright yellow so I could always find it in the parking lot. So I have a couple of science Facebook pages that I'm on because I like that stuff. And one of them had pointed out how drab in color America is becoming. We went from in the 50s, in the 60s, even in the 70s, you being able to have 20 different colors for cars to now you have about 8, unless you go get a custom paint job. So, but they also showed that, yup, a beeper on the keychain. Yeah. But now they're also showing how, like, house design, everything's beige, cream, white, gray, a light gray, and there's like you're losing color there. Even the paint jobs for the house. So we'll be taking care of that at some point because I let Mike pick out the colors for the house. So there's a lighter green. Yes, Michael's home, Gimli. Go find him. Mike just got home from work. What did I do with the bowl? Here we go. So this was the only thing I got from a Salvation Army store. It's jadeite. It's a great big jadeite mixing bowl. So I'll have to price that. I'll have to see. Does jadeite usually glow? See, I don't know, but I know you guys like glass. I know jadeite is something to look for. So this will be in next week's sale. Because like I said, I don't know, but it is Fire King jadeite mixing bowl. And I will find out if it glows before next week's sale, but we'll have that next week. And then the last place was this kind of like an antique mall. That guy was a trip. I'm sorry for all the ASMR rustling noises of bags, of the bag. The minute he heard we were from Camp Mincy, he kept going, oh yeah, Mincy, I know you guys. Oh, your troop is great. You guys were here last week. And we're like, no, we just got here this week. No, you're from Mincy, right? You guys were here last week. So he gave us a discount. He gave us a 20% off discount because we were from Camp Mincy. Okay. But we could not convince him that it wasn't our troop that was here the week before. We could guarantee it because this was the first time we'd ever been to Camp Mincy. But the guy sells, of course, he's got his own booth, which is all weaponry. Swords, knives, tactical equipment, survivalist equipment. So, of course, the two other adults I was with, both were eyeing up all the weaponry. And they did walk all around the store, and I walked around too. And so I got a few things. Now, this just says 5 dollhouse action figures, but I have to look these up because I think these are Mark's Toy Company. And from the clothing, I think this is their late, maybe early 50s set, but it's got the whole family. Because you've got the mother, the father, a little boy, a big sister, and then in the back there's a little toddler. So I have to look this one up because I snagged them because I like finding Mark's toys, and when we finally get to doing the toys, there's going to be a lot of old Mark's toy pieces and stuff. But this one, the father's pipe is intact. That's why I think, hi, Doug. I think it is Mark's because I don't think you guys can. Where's the camera? See that? That's the pipe. That's the actual stem of the pipe. And usually when you find the Mark's ones, that's gone. It's usually broken off. But I'm pretty sure, because on the bottom, it literally just says father, sister, mother on the bottoms. So, excuse me, sir. Do you want to talk to me about my car warranty? What do you want? You want to find somewhere to be that's not trouble? Why don't you go find Michael? Don't knock my Rolo printer on the floor. So, hello, KF. Really? Okay. See, I didn't know because I've never come across. I've seen other resellers. I've seen D have Fire King and y'all need to stop. Yes, pass like ships in the night. No fighting up there. No. Down. Go. Keep going. No, I didn't mean to come back. Telling you, next Thursday they're getting locked away. They're going to get locked in a room. But Miss Pamela too. But D and Miss Pam have much bigger channels than mine. Hello, Maria. I did find this. This is a treasure craft. It is a bank, but it says Florida. But it's got that wonderful tan and brown and a little bit of orange butterfly to it. So I was looking for things that might fit for fall decor, and you're never going to believe this. It was only $1.99 to begin with. And this guy just was going to give you that mincy discount and gave me 20% off. I was like, okay. That's finances is the other reason, because feeding these guys is crazy expensive. Why I don't shop. Now I couldn't film in there because everywhere I went had music playing. And so now I found out after I got it that this should have had a plate with it, but I just thought it was such a cool little thing. There's a big block of cheese, and that mouse looks, I'm losing paper. That mouse looks so cool that I just had. Now it just has VT don't know if I can get it to show. There we go. That was a claw in my spine. Can you not do that? There's a kitten behind me in the chair. So I thought that was just such a cute little thing that I had to. You're going to hear paper rattle again. I see a gray tail, so I know who's harassing me. There. Now, the other two things will be saved for Christmas because, and I have the original boxes for them. Yeah, and when I looked it up, I saw one that had a brown plate, and then the one that had this exact same mouse like that had a yellow plate, but it could be a different year. Now, this still has all the perfume in it, but I've got the Avon Christmas tree bottle with its original box. Now, somebody told me that there's a snowman they did. Anybody ever finds that? I'd love to see it because I collect snowmen. Not Frosty, though. I don't like Frosty the Snowman. But the other one with the bells on it is, and again, you can see that one's full. It's full of the perfume. So I'm going to be tucking these away in the tub full of stuff that I've been slowly gathering for Christmas. And so we'll have a Christmas sale at some point, but not yet. Not too soon. But that was the fun finds. Are you still behind me? No, you've moved. Good. I can kind of sit back a little bit. But I mean, it was fun. It was nice to have a day to get out of camp. We had some errands to run to get some stuff, so we stopped in at this place, and it was definitely different. We stopped in the Goodwill, the Salvation Army, and then this place because that's all that there was in that little town outside of Mincy. And you know what was really bizarre is I had cell phone service. Because I have Mike pays for T-Mobile for me. And I had that in camp, in the campsite. But when we went into town, the minute you got past the first block of town, suddenly there was no cell phone coverage for any of us. It was weird that the town itself was like cell phone dead zone. That was strange. But it was a fun week for the most part. I could have done without the added fuss of the bears because there were bears in the campsite. None that we actually saw in the campsite, but at night, I know at night we had 2 come in while we were sleeping in our tents. At least 2, maybe a third, because on the upper campsite where the senior patrol, the teenager boys were, they think they heard something the first night. Hi, Val. I know I heard something the last night. And I just kept thinking, don't let a kid wake up. Don't let a little kid wake up. Please don't let a little kid wake up. But they had, for this year's summer camp, that campsite, not just that campsite, but that summer camp had 13 different identifiable and tagged bears. Now, the bears are tagged because Camp Mincy is right up against state nature reserve. So it's up against state land. And so they tag all the bears. Yeah. You have a bear problem when you can identify, we're in week 4 of summer camp, and you've had 13 different bears, one of which is a mom with 2 cubs. And then you tell us on Thursday that we're supposed to cook in our own campsite, but you have a bear problem. We didn't cook in our campsite. We were not having that. I think the bears was the big reason why the boys decided we're not going back there next year. We're going to New Jersey to Alamucci, which is in Stanhope, New Jersey. So that'll be somewhere new next year. But Mike, yeah, I mean, the bears weren't really going to bother me so much because it's a Pennsylvania black bear. They're not known for being wildly aggressive. If we were somewhere where there were grizzlies or polar bears, because they could be aggressive, I'd have been worried, but we weren't. We weren't anywhere where there's a grizzly, a Kodiak, a polar bear. We're Pennsylvania black bear. And for the most part, they just don't want anything to do with you other than they want your food. So, and to the camp's credit, the new camp ranger, he built these huge little, yeah. So usually a bear box is something small, but he built these almost like miniature cabins that were big enough to hold the trash in the bottom, and then there were shelves as it went up for you to put any food, snacks, anything that had any smell, because some of these kids were even putting their shampoo and their deodorant and anything like that was all going into that shed so that they could be locked at night, and that way the bears couldn't get into it. They couldn't get to anything, and they were out at the road instead of being right in the campsite. So you had to walk the trail that led to your campsite to the main road to put your stuff in there, but that's worth it if it keeps the bear away from your tent. So that's all the bears were doing. I mean, the night I was still sitting up reading, because, there's always a homesick night, and it's usually hits on Wednesday night. So I agreed to sit up and read, and I was up, and at 2:20 in the morning, I'm sitting here reading, and the lantern in the table's next to me, and I can hear something big in the leaves walking, heading for the road. And I went, yeah, I'm done. as if a canvas tent is going to stop a bear if it really wanted to come in. Because these tents don't have floors. The floor is a wooden platform. So, yeah, I think that's Aragorn again, because I hear a bell and Arwen doesn't have her collar on. Yes, little boy. Yes. So, the tents have Velcro that you put through a metal piece here, and then you fold it back, and then the doors of the tent overlap. But if a bear really wanted to go in, all they got to do is put their nose up underneath and they're in, But you just feel safer when you're that illusion of safety. But it's a bear. It's Pennsylvania black bear. I didn't have anything in my tent. I didn't have any snack food. I didn't have anything that smelled like any kind of food, because I know better. Even the shampoo that I take to summer camp, it will never be anything that smells like honey or what's the one perfume? There was one shampoo I had, and it was supposed to smell like oat milk and vanilla. And I looked at that bottle and I went, that's not going with me. And these were sample packets, because I'll take a sample packet with me that I've gotten from out of a magazine. And yeah, no, not if it's scented like that, because we were warned. We were warned that there were bears there. So, but Mike turns 28 on the 24th of this month. And he's decided that Monday we're going away. We're going away Monday overnight and be back probably late on Tuesday. But I don't know, it's his birthday. I, however, don't know anything other than we're going away. I don't know where. I know we're going towards the mountains. Okay. So I don't know if we're going camping. I don't know. Because Summer camp, one of the things is summer camp's my stress relief for the whole year. But there were some things that happened where I had somebody who did like I get here and actually would come find me to talk to me. I want to get away from that. I have that here. I want to get away from that. And so I didn't really have the peacefulness of the woods. And you know what was really weird too? There were no birds. There were very few birds in those woods. I don't know. They said it's because of the bears. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I didn't think a robin or a cardinal or a wren or any other little woodland birds would be worried about a bear. It shouldn't be silent all the time. I think we heard two different birds. I only ever saw a robin. No chipmunks, no squirrels. What's up with that? I mean, yeah, I get it. There's bears in the woods, but bears aren't known for eating birds. I don't think they eat squirrels. So it was kind of weird. And I really kind of missed that because that's one of the most peaceful things is like when you can sit there and read and the only thing you're really hearing is bird song in the woods is just so peaceful for me and such a great stress reliever. And I didn't have it at all because it just was weird. No birds. Now I get it. Like around here, we have a hawk. I can always tell when the hawk is around because there'll be nothing. You won't see a bird. You won't hear a bird. You won't see any of the squirrels. Nothing. And I know, look up. And sometimes I'll actually see it. I'll actually be able to spot it. But yeah, it's like it was one thing when it like the first day, I thought, okay, well, maybe there's a hawk in the area. But it went on the whole day. It was a little unnerving. It got to the point where some of us were joking around about it because the teenagers noticed. And so we were joking around about Stephen King novels and yeah, things like that going, okay, so we have bears and it's too quiet. So which horror movie creature is gonna come after us? And then I was evil and said, hey, I'll be fine. He says, why? I said, because I'm gonna trip every single one of you so I can get away. They're teenagers, they can take it. They thought that was quite funny that I actually would say that out loud. So making sure there's not a cat behind me. So it was fun, but Mike wants to go do something we haven't done in years and have an exploring day. And so except this time he's planned at least where we're going to stay. And that's all I know. So I will be gone Monday and Tuesday. And who knows? If we find something cool, maybe I'll quick pop on live and show it to you. We'll see. But when he was a kid, especially when I homeschooled, we would have exploring days. And we'd get in the car and we'd head to Delaware. And we'd just drive around anywhere. You'd stay off the highways and just take all these little back roads, all the little route numbers. And we found cool stuff to see, interesting shops to stop in, really neat little museums that you didn't know were around. And then when it was time to come home, I knew just figure out where the sun is. Okay, sun's setting that way. Then we head this way until we hit water. Because then we're going to hit the Delaware River and you make a left. And just come straight up 95 because Chester is on the Delaware River. So I never needed a map. I didn't care. I knew that, once you hit that river, make a left, head north. Sooner or later, you're going to hit Pennsylvania. You're fine. So he says that's what we're doing. He has a plan and we're going to have an exploring day. But for once, I'm going to be the kid who doesn't know anything about where we're going. So this will be a different way of doing it. I'm looking forward to it because I think it'll be fun for a change, where I get to be the one not knowing where we're going and for it to be a surprise for me. So that's what's happening with that. The foot is healing nicely. We've gotten everything. I've got all the crud from the hole cleaned up. Mike got up there with the step ladder and screwed a tarp. I should have taken a picture. So because there's so many spots that it leaks, he's taken one of the tarps from the camping equipment. So it's really kind of too big, but he's got it down the big opening that's the step down to the landing, and then across this wall, and then up this way. So it makes this giant U. So it should cover just about everywhere the leak comes. And then we took one of the outdoor big round trash cans that isn't old, so it doesn't have a hole in it, and the tarp all goes directly into that. And I have a little bucket that's about this big around and only maybe 8 inches high. But if I have to, because there's no way I'd be able to lift that thing to empty it. So the only thing that worries me is that they've shifted when the rain is supposed to come. The rain that we were supposed to get on Saturday and Sunday, now they're calling for on Monday and Tuesday when we're not here. So I'm a little nervous. But with that piece coming down, we can actually see why nobody ever found the leak. Now, I'm dying to see what happens when it rains, but there's a 1935 roof that comes this way. There's a 1911 roof that goes this way. There's another 1935 roof that comes down this way. Now, in the middle of all that is a 36-inch square flat spot, the only flat spot in the entire roof. It is directly above that hole. Where this roof comes down and meets the flat spot, there is a gap big enough to see from underneath. We can see it. I don't know what we're looking at because it's white. So as near as I could tell, it's probably just some kind of thin plastic layer that they put underneath the shingles. But that's all there is. There's this sizable gap between the boards. The boards don't actually meet. And you can actually see some of the spray insulation foam where Mike found a hole when he was out on the roof and he tried plugging it with the spray insulation foam. And it actually came through that gap in the boards. So there's a big chunk of it about the size of, well, not as big as a tennis ball, but definitely twice the size of a ping pong ball, has come through and just like inflated out. And that's from him doing that from the top down. So, yeah, in my lifetime, there have been 2 new roofs on this house. I was born in 1965. At one point, my dad and my brother-in-law did the whole roof. They didn't get that leak either. I mean, it was never as bad as it is now, but it's still, if the drain backed up, it always seemed to leak. And then after Dad died in 1996, so in 97 or 98, Mom had a whole new roof put on. And I came home from work. I go to check on the guys up on the roof. And I get up to that 3rd floor landing, and there's a guy sitting there with a cooler next to him. He's not doing anything except drinking beer. So I went and found the foreman. Now, at this point, it's 4:30, and he says, well, it's too late for us to do anything now. So instead of ripping up any of the rotted wood, they just put another layer of plywood down on top of it and sealed it all off, and then never answered our calls back when we said, hey, you didn't get the leak. But now, since that tree limb had hit the house and a raccoon's gotten in from somewhere, we've got 2 new leaks. One is right on my side of the house, and That other one is where the ceiling collapsed. That's become really super bad. And I can no longer get out on the roof to ever go take a look at it. So I've talked to a couple of roofers, but they of course want to do the entire thing. At this point, I just want to get it patched enough to get through the winter. And so there's a thing called I think it's called TaskRabbit. It's Task something, but I think the website's TaskRabbit. But it's for you to find people in your area that'll do small tasks, whether it's replacing a window, patching a roof, but not the whole roof, cleaning your gutters, helping you move stuff around that's too heavy for you. And they have their fees, they have a rating system. So we're looking into seeing about getting that done. And there's a guy that does basic carpentry too. So he's $75 an hour. But Mike's thinking of having him come take a look at the kitchen porch roof, where if you see the video I had that says it broke my house, it's still broken because the neighbor never did cover any to pay and repair any of it that his limb did to my house. But it actually broke the end pieces of the eaves. The actual pieces of wood are like that. You can see it in the video. They're broken. There's at least 4 of them that it snapped. So those need new end pieces put out to make the eaves. And then the roof needs to be redone. Now, Mike knows now how to reshingle that kind of roof for a small roof. But the woodwork underneath, we need somebody to do. So, yeah. And I still got to feed these little critters. Gary talked to me about keeping one. And I said, you do realize that it costs about $50 a cat to feed these guys for a month. When you figure the amount of food, because they eat 3 times a day because they're still kittens. And between cat litter, cat food, dry and wet, yeah, it's easily $50 a month per cat. So he decided that, well, maybe he doesn't want to keep Frodo. I didn't really think he was going to keep Frodo either, because he's going to expect me to pay off everything for it, and I'm not going to do that. Mike's paying up to help feed Gimli. Elrond's bonded with me, so but yeah, so my funds are all accounted for, what little I have. So, and I know it's all my own fault because some of you are still waiting for stuff. So that's the rundown. And I will see you guys for a sale next Thursday. And basic recap for everybody is the foot is healing good. I am going to have to eventually see a specialist, yet another one, because there is a lot of arthritis damage, which is probably why it's stress fractured, because the joint is wearing very thin. I had that done up at Philadelphia at Temple University's Foot and Ankle Institute. I had it done years and years ago, so I know what that means. I'm not looking forward to it because it means 6 weeks of bed rest if they have to operate for that. But I get other issues still. We still got to get other things dealt with. And it's already getting near the end of August. So have a good weekend. If you're where it's been really hot, stay safe, stay cool, drink plenty of water. If you're where it's raining too much and flooding, I'm praying you're safe, because some areas, they don't know what hit them, especially out in like Death Valley in Kentucky. First off, who ever heard of Death Valley ever flooding? And Kentucky, man, they've been in my prayers for a long while now with all the rain they've gotten. And I think they're due to get more this weekend, because I think that's what's supposed to work its way up and hit me on Monday and Tuesday. So stay safe, everybody. Have a good night. And I will be live. I will definitely be live for a live sale next Thursday at 11 o'clock. And I will keep you guys posted. if you have Instagram, I am on Instagram. It's all the same name. Everything I've got's the same name. This Overstuffed House, all one word. eBay, Etsy, this. I used to have a TikTok, but I forgot what the password was, so there's nothing on there for that one. So, if we come across anything cool on Monday and Tuesday, I may pop that up, either pictures on Instagram, or if I have the chance, maybe a quick live, or a video, and uh, and that's about everything. So have a good night, everybody. Bye.